Welcome back to Midnight Movie Club and my review for Escape Room Tournament of Champions. Once again in Tournament of Champions, 6 people unwittingly find themselves locked in another series of escape rooms, slowly uncovering what they have in common to survive. Joining forces with 2 of the original survivors from Escape Room, they soon discover they've all played the game before. Escape Room Tournament of Champions was directed by Adam Robitel, the same man who directed the 2019 Escape Room, the movie that this is a sequel to, and the screenplay was written by Will Honley, Maria Melnick, Daniel Tuch and Oren Uziel. Once again, the cast stars Taylor Russell as Zoe Davis, Logan Miller as Ben Miller, and it also stars newcomers Thomas Cockrell as Nathan, Holland Roden as Rachel, India Moore as Brianna, and Carlito Olivero as Theo. Just so you know where I stand with the Escape Room movies, I didn't actually watch the 2019 film when it first came out to theatres. It was coming out in January, just looked at a Saw rip-off and I just thought, nah, this one ain't for me, so I skipped it, but I ended up watching it when it came to streaming here where I live, and honestly, I had a really good time with it. It didn't blow me away or anything like that, but I really did enjoy it. And with Escape Room Tournament of Champions, I honestly have to say once again, I really enjoyed myself. It's nothing special, it's nothing that's absolutely gonna, blow you away as I said, but it does what it says in the tin, it does everything right, it does a few things really well, it does other things pretty average, but honestly, on the whole, Escape Room Tournament of Champions was, in my opinion, a successful sequel. To me, the Escape Room movies are just movies that have no right being as good as they are. They really aren't brilliant, they're not amazing, but they are a really good time, and honestly I would really be up for this becoming a pretty big series where we just keep getting movie after movie of all these crazy contraption rooms and following the characters through it. They do a real good job of once again making you actually like the characters. In Escape Room 2019 you actually did get a little bit of time with each character and their backstory to figure out who they were and get a feel for them before they started getting offed, and once again they do that a little bit here. You instantly really do like all of these characters, and knowing that they've all been through this before, you really do feel for them. It's really nice to see Zoe and Ben return as well and not be recast or anything like that. It's the same actors, which is very nice, and it was just nice to see their characters and how they react to this situation, having been through it before, now that they've matured a little bit and toughened up a little bit as well. And I really like the kind of PTSD aspect that they had going on, especially with Ben, because after being through something like that, it would really mess you up. And I really liked it at the start of the film they were showing us the effects that Ben and Zoe were having to live with. Tournament of Champions also gives us a nice wee expansion in the world with teases to how big this thing really is and how deep it runs into our society. I really like that, and I really hope if we get a third film they open that up even more. Kind of reminded me of John Wick a little bit, how in the first film they teased that kind of assassin underworld, hitman underworld kind of thing, and then they opened it up in the second one. Here they open it up just a little bit more, not as much as the John Wick movies did, but in a nice little way that it kind of gives us a little tease. So I really hope if we do get a third, they open it up once again even more, and we can see into this seedy kind of dark web underbelly of all these people who are putting bets on and buying this thing on pay-per-view, and all these sadistic fucks and who's behind it. I want to know how high this thing runs in society, because it would be really interesting to see where they take it. The rooms as well are a big factor in these movies, and the rooms in Tournament of Champions are pretty darn brutal. They're also pretty hard to solve for the audience anyway. That was maybe one little critique I had, where the characters would figure things out very easily in a couple of the rooms, but the audience, it's just impossible for us to keep up, and by the time we're trying to figure it out, they've already blasted through it. Whereas in the first one, I feel like we had more of a chance to figure it out with the characters, and sometimes we'd be figuring out things out ahead of them, made it kind of fun. We felt more like an active audience in that regard, whereas here I felt a little bit more disconnect from the characters as they were kind of impossibly figuring things out on the fly very quickly, and it just left me sitting there like, shit, I'd be so dead if I was in this situation. It was also a little bit predictable in areas, but I can't really go into that too much because of spoilers, but there will be a couple little surprises in here, one that I really liked, and I really do like the way they tied things in with the first film and how they brought a few things over from that first film to kind of carry on a few narrative threads that for me ended kind of abruptly in the first, but were nicely brought back up in this one. But that's all I can really say on that. We really do need to talk about the cinematography as well, because as I said, like in the first one it was very nicely done. In this one, even better. Honestly, we get some really good looking shots. There's a shot with some underwater and fire, just looks really cool. The set designs are very well done as well, all very intricate and very interesting. You know, it's very Truman Show-esque, and I love that. I just love what they're doing with it and how creative they're being with these escape rooms, but the way they film them is very well done. A lot of Dutch tilts and stuff like that to really disorientate you, throw you off, and yeah, I really liked how they upped the ante on these rooms, and just the set design in general. It was all very interesting and all very well done. The score is something else I really enjoyed. It was very synthy, almost very cyberpunky, and it really did amp up the tension when the rooms were about to absolutely combust on the characters. And like I said, we care about them. The music's there, the bloody tension is rising, and it all just kind of crescendos into this nice, like, very fast heartbeat of a film. Like, the pacing is just constant throughout. It never really lets up. When you get a little bit of downtime, it's maybe like 2 pages of the script, and you know, dialogue is very fast and snappy. There's not too much exposition dumps, and when it is like a little bit of exposition, it's basically like 2 lines of dialogue, and I really like that. They kind of just tell you what you need to know and then bloody get on with it. The movie honestly does what it says on the tin, gives you some cool escape room action, nothing that's absolutely going to blow you away, but everything it does right, and I honestly came out having a fun time. The acting, once again, from Zoe and Ben, their characters, you know, I really like their dynamic in this one more than the first one, because obviously they know each other more, they've grown more together, they put in good performances. The rest of the cast, same for them. I mean, nothing that's going to win an Oscar or anything like that, but in a movie like this, are you really looking for anything that deep? It's basically a PG Saw, but it's still a fun time, and they definitely did make this one a little bit more brutal than the first, I think. So yeah, with all that said and done, I'm going to give Escape Room Tournament of Champions a 3.5 out of 5 rating. Have you seen Tournament of Champions? Let me know in the comment section down below what you made of it. If you enjoyed this review, please do leave a like, and if you're new here, then subscribe to join the club. As always, thank you very much for watching, and good night.